Hi, this is a customer review of the Venom X19 Super Pocket Bike. A close relative purchased this bike and I spent a couple hours helping to unpack and assemble it. Do not buy this bike. The quality is terrible. We ran into so many issues I consider it unsafe to test ride until fixed. First off, the fuel line is fitted onto the petcock with no hose clamp, no barb fitting to properly retain it. It's just pushed onto a smooth fitting, and the exhaust pipe's about 2 inches away. Think very dangerous. Think potential human fireball if that thing comes off. The same fuel line was kinked due to a 180-degree bend. We had to turn around the petcock to fix that. Being a brand new bike, it shouldn't have been assembled that way. Bars clamp here, we crank down on that, but it can still move, as you can see, with a little bit of force. And I'm going to have to try and crank it further, but unfortunately there's no torque table in the instruction manual that tells you how much you can torque these bolts. So we have no idea how tight we can go. That too is very dangerous if that moves while you're riding. We adjusted the throttle cable adjuster right here all the way out. And as you can see, we still have, oh man, over ½ an inch of play. And this throttle cable adjuster, we adjusted it all the way out to take up as much slack as we could. Underneath here is the battery. It comes unsecured. It's just sitting here in a cradle, loose. There's no mounting strap whatsoever. This seat doesn't mount correctly either. There's a bracket here, and there's a hole here which matches up with it. And the sides here hit the turn signal stalks, turn light stalks, before this engages the bracket. So we might have to cut the plastic on both sides to make that fit right. The fit and finish is horrible on this thing. The mounting holes don't quite line up either. We're going to have to fiddle with it. On to the front of the bike, the headlight doesn't work and the horn doesn't work. So far we looked at the electrical wiring. The headlight's not even hooked up. Filler cap here, it's a cheap plastic thing. It's a lid here that covers the actual fuel filler cap underneath. This decorative thing has a cheapo plastic thing. It broke almost immediately, so it's just loose now. The windshield mounting bolts here, we had to just find some in our shop here for temporary use, but they didn't even fit. The bolts were too big a diameter for these holes. So the kickstand, where it mounts to the frame, a lot of play, way too much play there. We might have to shim it with washers to get that acceptable there. We didn't even test ride it yet. It's that bad. We fired up the motor, and that's about it. There's some other bolts missing, mainly on the plastic that we saw, that we might scrounge some bolts on our own, or we're going to call Venom on that too. In conclusion, don't buy this bike. It's mechanically unsafe. It has many issues and very poor quality. My family and I have owned and maintained many street and dirt bikes since the 70s, and we know good versus poor quality when we see it. This bike here, this Venom MotorSports X19, is absolutely the worst bike I have ever seen. Last but not least, check out these instruction manual for the Venom. This here's the user manual. It's just 3 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper stapled together. Not a whole lot of info. And they have throw in another couple sheets of paper telling you what to do before your first ride. And it says things like tighten the bolts, but it doesn't say how much. Adjust the chain, doesn't tell you what the proper slack in the chain is. Just for comparison, here's some manuals for the dirt bikes we have. KX65 owner's manual. It's 100 pages long. Yamaha YZ125. This thing, I don't know, must be 200 pages. This is little 65, 100 pages. So this Venom, sorry to say, this is it. This is all you get. You're on your own. All right, I think I've made my point. So anyway, buyer beware. Thank you.